Hey, real estate agents, welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga, who is without a mic today because we have a full house. We've got Mike Schweikardt and Tony Lee with ProSmart Realty, Sarah Blodgett, loan officer with Starboard Financial, and Bryce Nerland, operations manager at Starboard Financial. Welcome, you all.
Hey, thanks.
Glad to be here.
I appreciate you all being here for sure. I mean, you took time out of your day. I'm sure the weather's awesome right now. You probably didn't want to be stuck in this cramped studio, right?
Well, with good company, it's okay.
Exactly.
You know, we're going to probably have to ask Security Title to get us a bigger studio because, you know, that's just the way we roll. We want to be, we want to have the best, right? So might just have to do that. Hey, why don't we first start with you all introducing yourselves, just briefly, how long you've been in real estate or mortgage and what got you into the business. We can just start with Mike and go around the table there.
Thank you. You know, I've been licensed 29 years. I cut my teeth at Realty Executives for 15 years. And Tony and I started ProSmart Realty about 15 years ago. So this February will be 30 years. I'm the designated broker and love what I do.
Awesome. Very nice. I'm Sarah. I'm with Starboard Financial. I've actually grown up in the industry. This is my family company and been originating for a little over a decade now. We love what we do.
My name is Bryce. I'm the operations manager over at Starboard as well. And I've been doing it for almost 10 years now. Love what I do as well. Actually, Sarah's father is the one that got me into the business. I was in restaurants before. I was in mortgage and kind of made the switch over. Love the fast pace, love helping people get in homes. So,
did you ever want to be on Chopped?
Yes. And I would do very well.
Awesome.
And I'm Tony Lee. I'm with ProSmart Realty. I'm the managing broker. I've been licensed in my 21st year. Been working with Mike for my whole career. Ran into Mike at a housing seminar. We reconnected after growing up together and got in the business with Mike, and he's taught me everything I know.
It's been heavenly ever since.
I almost didn't come. It's been so great.
So I hadn't heard part of that, Tony. So you guys grew up together, and then was there a time where you more like weren't hanging around with each other, and then you guys met again at one of these real estate events?
Well, we grew up together. We went to junior high and high school together. But as I'm sure a lot of people know, once you graduate from high school, it's like everybody you saw every single day for your whole life just disappears. Everybody goes in separate ways. And so we didn't see each other for probably 7 years or so, and ran into him at a housing seminar, and he saw me before I saw him.
Tony stands out.
By the time I realized he was there, he was all smiles looking at me, went over, gave him a hug, and then we reconnected and been together ever since.
That's cool. That's a good story. It's a good story. Well, why don't we first start with what's going on in this crazy market? Because I'm sure you guys get it every single day as you're talking to buyers and sellers right now, right? Is what's happening? What's going on with rates? You know, why isn't my house getting shown, right? Whatever the case. So why don't we start with the market there?
I'll chime in on that. I'll give it a segue for everybody else that, you know, the interest rates went up. So we see a lot of price reductions in houses. We see several cancellations. So we're finding that the mortgage companies have really had to start being creative. And I think Starboard has really been a leader in that because they're ahead of the game. And actually, Sarah's father, Mark, approached me about this 6 months ago, and he anticipated this, and we kind of adjusted our sales accordingly. And I think that's what we're seeing in the mortgage business is they're being aggressive in how they get the loans and approving people, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And I do feel, even with the rates going up, people are becoming more accustomed to it. So I would say when we saw the biggest increase, maybe between July and August, we did see a little bit more of a dip in applications. But now, you know, with more creative programs, we've got a 2-1 buy down. So what someone can do in that situation, if they have a pretty decent seller credit, they can utilize that to temporarily buy down their rate 2 points lower for the first year, and then 1 point lower from the market rate the second year. And then in that time frame, they should have an opportunity to refinance before it goes back up to the market rate. So honestly, I mean, we're still staying busy. My pipeline's still strong. I think it's just a matter of educating people and letting them know that even though the rates are high, it's it's not outrageous. It's still kind of a normal market where we're at right now, as far as the rates are concerned. And they can really get a nice opportunity to get into a house at a little bit less than what we've seen over the last couple of years, and with a potentially lower rate with seller concessions.
You know why you're busy is because you've always gave attention to the realtors.
Thank you.
You didn't just dive into and take advantage of the refi boom. You always catered to those relationships. And that's what Bryce is good at.
Exactly. That's why you have the bags under my eyes.
That's why the realtors love you, because you're always there for them.
Thank you. It's true. Thank you.
It is kind of funny because we talk about it being a family business, especially with Sarah and stuff. And actually, my wife is a realtor, and she hangs her license.
She hangs her license at ProSmart. He lost.
Okay,
You're back
so
on
I'm
now.
sorry.
Sorry, lost you for a second.
That's all right. So I was just talking about like how we always keep it as a family business, and we all, look after each other and everything. And my wife is a realtor as well, and she hangs her license at ProSmart just because they are the best brokerage. But we love it. And one of the things that I do is I really help out with the loan officer to realtor relationships, and that's kind of when we're a smaller company, you wear many hats, many hats. And one of mine that I do is I try to, pair up which loan officer at our company has a skill set that's going to work with a certain realtor and kind of get them linked up together and just make it a team. So,
Hey, you know what? It'd be a good idea if we had your wife in here next time.
That'd be awesome.
Because she's very active. For lack of a better term, her boots are on the ground. She's very, very involved.
She is. She's one that if I have somebody that's, it doesn't matter where they're looking, East Valley, sorry, East Valley or West Valley. If they want to find a house, she's the one I recommend.
Tina's awesome.
Yeah.
and it's an interesting perspective for me because I see the mortgage side in my life. And then being the, spouse of a pretty, busy realtor, I see the other side of it where she's out hitting the ground on the weekends, hustle and bustle. She's got listings that exactly what you were talking about, dropping prices and people really getting concerned right now about, how am I going to get this house sold? And I see both sides of it. I see the mortgage side and I see the real estate side. So.
Which side is more stressful?
You can't answer that.
One way or another, you're gonna get in trouble. Huh?
Well, no, but I mean, being the husband, I think I always worry more about Tina than myself. So probably I worry more about her business than I guess. I don't know.
You're a good guy.
Yeah, it's this market is it's been an adjustment for sure. People still think that their house is worth an outrageous amount, but the prices are coming down, but they're seeing people around them who are still pricing them high. And then we've got to educate them. If you look at the person down the street who has a house that's similar to yours, it's been on the market for 2-3 months now. There's a reason they're priced too high, and try to get them to understand they need to bring that price down so we can get that house sold, or they're going to be sitting for a while and it's going to go stale.
Tina had a listing that she dropped the price yesterday, and within 2 hours she got 2 listing appointments to come, or showing appointments.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
That's funny. Tony and I were talking this morning about how sellers and buyers will really be gun shy. And Tony's got a listing out in Phoenix where is it Phoenix?
It's in Peoria.
Peoria. And moments after the rates went up, Tony got 1 or 2 offers on that property. It's been sitting there for a couple of months.
Yeah.
Kind of gets people off the fence a little bit.
It does. It's an ebb and flow. I feel like we go through this adjustment period of, well, I'm hearing all this in the news that the prices are going to continue to drop, that they're going to correct. So you have on one side of the coin, buyers thinking that, the housing market's going to crash and I'm going to get this house set for $1 million. I'm going to get it for 300,000. And obviously that's just not the case.
Yeah.
So I guess, as you're saying, Mike, really with the interest rates continue to go up, people are thinking, oh, shoot, if I'm going to get in, then I better get in now. Because when am I going to get another opportunity to get this deal?
But for a buyer, they have a better opportunity because even though the price might still be a little high, they can negotiate the price down and negotiate some sort of concessions to help buy the rate down.
Absolutely.
Which makes it a lot more affordable for them.
Yeah. And really just for real estate agents, I think too, the ones that were heavily focused on listings, it's just about more diversifying and reaching back out to those buyers that a couple of years ago maybe gave up or just couldn't find the right house for the right price.
A lot of people are very, very interest rate conscious. So if they had somebody like Sarah that can help them and educate them, how to get a lower rate. If you remember back in the day, Jeff, we used to say anything under 8 is great. But I mean, we're talking about 5, 6, 7%. I mean, still, it's unbelievable.
Still under
2, 3% is just free money. 5, 6, 7% is like free money, and you get the right off the end of the year also.
Yeah.
The tax benefits. But
So on the mortgage side, why don't we? So are you seeing more programs come out being released? Maybe whether it's bank statement programs or less money down type programs. And I know the conforming limit's probably going to go up here pretty soon, or at least for next year, right?
Yeah, very good question. So they've actually already released the new conforming loan limit. So we can now close a conventional loan at 715. Whether that's actually going to be the amount that the federal housing releases, still hard, undetermined. Yeah. But what happened, you had one major wholesaler release that, then the rest didn't want to be left behind. So now, I mean, we can close at 715. So that's huge. That's now you can go up to give or take about 750 on a purchase price with minimum down. So that's
crazy. I remember back when it was 417 and I thought that was high.
I know, it's unbelievable. So you had 547 in 2020, then it goes up to 647. Now we're up to 715. So, I mean, that's a pretty significant jump in just a short period of time. But, qualifying parameters, that at least gives people a little bit more of an upper hand and ability to they don't necessarily have to have 20% down to have that $750,000, $800,000 home.
Yeah.
You actually, as you mentioned too, definitely more non-QM, non-conforming bank statement programs. We actually, right now, I was just pricing it out the other day, and that program has a better rate than doing a conforming loan on a second home or investment property. Not so much primary residence, but you can. We've got a program that'll cap the rate at 7% with less fees and less points.
So is that with 12 months or 24 or how many?
Oh, yeah, you do it with 12 months. So
that's a good deal.
It's not bad if you're still looking.
Yeah, because I mean, think of all the self-employed people, right? I mean, the goal is you try to write off as much as you can, right? Yeah. But then when you go to qualify, that's not a good thing.
Usually not.
Why don't you speak about the down payment assistance as well?
Down payment assistance. I mean, we're hoping more programs are coming out. There are some on the horizon. The big thing right now, just with
I can hear you good.
Okay, I'm trying.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you just fine.
Oh, perfect, awesome.
Absolutely.
Big thing with the down payment assistance, really just waiting for the market to stabilize. So right now, it's a non-refundable down payment assistance that's available, which has actually been sticking around a lot longer than we thought it would. So there's about, I want to say last checked, about 430 available options left for that particular program. I know the big question is there going to be another one? Obviously that we don't know just yet, but as of right now, the one we've had has been going strong since about July, end of June.
You and Bryce are a good example and a good reason why realtors need to have a good team around them, because when you have support like that, that's knowledgeable about how to get their buyers a loan and how to be creative and get the job done, it only helps the realtor and their clients. Right?
Yeah, puts them in the best situation possible.
Yeah. Well, and even with the down payment assistance rate, I mean, that's still very competitive with where we're at in the market. To get 5% towards down payment and closing costs and still be in, a mid 6% rate with where we're at. I mean, that's pretty substantial.
Yeah. So, Sarah and Bryce, you guys like this?
Oh man, that would be.
Do you remember Ameridream?
Yes. That was like the Ameridream, Nehemiah, seller funded. I think they might be too scared to do that. I don't know.
Tony lived off Ameridream.
I lived off
Oh, so did
15
we.
years ago.
But then I was in closing getting all the foreclosure notices. I'm like, oh, I got another stack today. I'm like, great.
So we're not anticipating that type of program, right?
I haven't seen anything on the horizon.
No.
I mean, you never know, but I would think that would be maybe the last one that would come out before maybe another more competitive non-QM bank statement loan or down payment assistance, just to hedge against just inflation of foreclosures.
I've seen some talk about 40-year mortgages, and I've also seen some talk about interest only again. Are you seeing that out there at all?
We have them. Yep. I don't have as many people keen on doing that, but there is that option, more along the non-QM platform. But there is a 40-year And then, like you said, yeah, definitely interest only. A lot of, and obviously HELOCs too. You can still have interest only. I've getting a lot more of those right now for home improvements.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh, easily. Probably, I would say at least within the last 6 months.
Do you refinance them?
Yeah.
And then
we'll
pull out the HELOC?
Mhm.
Or they just get a HELOC?
It
So they get it first or they get a second?
I mean, it depends on their situation. Typically, if they have their house free and clear, I'm recommending just cash out, because at that point, why would you opt to have an interest only variable rate when you can have a fixed rate and refinance later? Because the payment's going to be the same either way, unless, of course, it's more for in case of emergencies. If it's in a case of emergency thing, then I'm not advocating. Why don't you take out that 200 grand and start making?
And that loan is
payments
just
on
sitting
that?
there.
And it's just
And they
sitting
only
there.
pay the interest on the money that they pull out.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's nice.
I know. Yeah.
See,
Lots of options.
You're amazing.
Thanks. Try to be a wealth of knowledge.
And all joking aside, that's how the realtors make their living. That's why
Yeah.
they've got to really form a relationship with you.
Thank you.
Yep. So the HELOCs obviously are tied to the prime rate, correct?
They are, yes, which that is more a direct correlation with the Fed rate going up. Every time that goes up, you absolutely see the Fed rate increase. Not so much with mortgage rates. It's a little bit more of a direct correlation. I think as we've all seen, it used to be, we can kind of gauge where rates are going to go. If stocks are up, then rates are up. If mortgage bonds are up, then rates are low. But now it's been more, how do you feel? How does the market feel? How do investors feel? And I think we're going to continue to see a little bit more of that just as we progress into this new territory.
Yeah, for sure. So on the real estate side, guys, what are you having buyers? I just want to ask this, and you can tell me if this is happening or not. But are you having buyers that are saying, "I want a low ball offer. I want to lowball somebody"?
Of course.
We're seeing, what I'm seeing a lot of is the buyers asking the sellers to finance, to carry.
Oh, okay.
Really?
We're starting to see
Wow.
that. Yeah.
So
And-
that's not a bad idea if the seller really wants to move on with their life and go do something else. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the seller carry.
Buyers also want to put a minimal amount down. And in order to do that, you're going to have to put a big chunk down. So those really is very rarely come to fruition, but we're seeing buyers trying to do things like that because the prices have gone up so much. And it's not like we're going to see a big crash like 08, 9, 10, 11, 12. I still get butterflies talking about that time. It makes me a little nervous, but everybody has equity in their property. Everybody's had to put money down in their property. So it's not like they're going to walk away. And if you see how high and expensive rents are, back in the day, people can get away from a high mortgage payment that's adjusting higher and get into a rental same size for half the price. So we're not seeing like cash for keys. We're not seeing sellers turn in their keys. We're not seeing a lot of foreclosures. Everybody's got equity. So I think what I feel in my heart of hearts really is that we're kind of like in a tepid area. And I think it's just going to level out, kind of normalize a little bit. And then the Fed's going to either raise it or just leave it again. But we'll see.
I had a situation the other day when the actual seller was talking to a real estate agent about assumability, like assuming their loan. And the real estate agent didn't really realize what that is. So assumptions, it's not like every loan can just get assumed.
A lot of brokerages have it in their broker manual that they're not allowed to do that because if there's an existing mortgage on it, it's really considered a wrap.
Yes.
And then you get into some really liability there with the seller because the mortgage company, once they find out that title's been transferred, there's a due on sale clause in that mortgage, which is going to possibly have the bank come back and start a foreclosure process on that property because they actually transfer title.
Yep. Oh, and it's a process too. There are some, you can technically on a VA or an FHA, but you have to get approval from the VA. If you're going that route, you have to get approval from FHA and then also the current mortgage servicer.
It's doable. They still almost got to qualify.
Exactly.
So why not? You got to put a ton of money down.
Mm-hmm. And they still have to get a second mortgage for the difference in the seller's current
So they
mortgage.
should call you in the first place.
Exactly. Well, and then on top of that, you go through this whole process. And if you think about it, why is the servicer going to want to accept an assumable loan at 2% when they can make more money now? So they're probably going to find a reason to decline it and for a reason not to do it. But,
I could see that working more for like a family member or something like that, right?
Exactly. And that's really, the true intention behind that.
Or veteran to veteran.
Exactly. Or veteran to veteran.
Absolutely. So our sellers, some of your listings, are the sellers starting to realize that they need to be creative? They need to offer something? I mean, are they still just
because it sits there for
line in the sand at this point? No.
properties on the market for 3-4 weeks and they start getting a little nervous. But we used to take listings for 6 months or a year. A house being on the market for 2 or 3 weeks just seems like a long time for the realtor community because they're used to getting multiple offers in about 20 minutes. But as far as I'm concerned, everything's just kind of normalizing out. And every once in a while, you got to thin the herd, which is probably really good for this industry.
Yeah.
Not just for the realtor community, the loan officer community, and the homeowners.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Realtors need to, what I call it, Jeff, is how big is your gap? And what I mean by that is realtors seem to, from what I've seen, they work really well in certain market conditions. And if the realtors can adjust their sales accordingly, they can do well in multiple markets, multiple conditions. So not just like in the Southeast Valley or the West Valley, but even when the interest rates go up, the bond does this, the yen does that, they're still going to survive and do well because they've adjusted to the current market conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't keep advertising in the yellow pages.
Yeah. Are you seeing more or less people moving into the Valley now? Because I know we had a big influx, right, over the past year and a half during the COVID stuff and all that, but do you feel like it's kind of tapered down a little bit?
I don't know.
I do. Yeah. I mean, you're always going to have people moving into Arizona, just our economy and
The weather
and the weather. Yeah. First and foremost, the weather,
market.
job
and the
market.
water supply.
Yes,
No,
absolutely.
I'm just
Water supply. But as far as people out of state, I'm actually seeing more people upgrading or wanting to move closer in. I have several people right now that all they could afford at the time was out in Anthem, Casa Grande, and now they're wanting to come in. They've got the equity to move into Gilbert, Chandler, Mesa area. I'm seeing a little bit more of that than the migration, but it's still there.
It's still there. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of companies that are coming here because of our economy, because it's cheaper for them to build here and move their company and move their people.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of growth still going on here.
What do they say? 300-400 people a day move to Arizona.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What Facebook, I think, putting in a whole facility over in Eastmark or right around that area. That's my understanding. Just a whole community. So I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
In of itself.
maybe
Maybe.
they just announced. Well, they announced yesterday that they're going to have to cut their expenses by 10%. So who knows what they're going to do?
Yeah, you never know. You
And
gotta take everything
Zuckerberg
with
lost
grain.
half his wealth too. Lost $76 billion.
So it's only
Believe it.
76 billion left.
Poor guy.
Oh man.
Crimea
I'm so
River,
sorry
right?
for him.
Maybe we should see if he wants a job.
Bryce, go hire him.
Yeah.
He's got enough information on everybody to probably know who's buying and who's selling for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably watching the
Um,
podcast right now.
Oh, doubt.
He's certainly listening to it.
So what, and we can talk about in the real estate and the mortgage side, but what tips would you give somebody in the real estate arena today to get business? I mean, things have definitely shifted. So what kind of tips would you give an agent today as far as going out to get business? And then we'll ask the other two, like what kind of advice you would give a loan officer.
Colin, you want to start or you want me to start it?
Go, you start.
I feel some sort of satisfaction because I've always preached relationships, and you've got to anticipate that, and you've got to really work those relationships. Those friends and family and clients that have dealt with you in the past, they count on you. They count on you to be market savvy and to put yourself in a position where you've got partners that you can lean on, and those partners can also lean on you, and that forms a good relationship. So, as far as I'm concerned, everything's coming. The chickens are coming home to roost, and we've anticipated that. ProSmart Realties, we're looking for a new building to buy. We're growing. This has been our core foundation of how we operate. It's all about relationships. So although our top producers usually close 5-10 transactions a month every single month, they're now closing 3 to 5 transactions a month. We have a whole new group of realtors at ProSmart that are now closing 1s and 2s and 3s a month. So our volume is still the same. It's just that now we're more diversified, and that's kind of like how we anticipated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. We've been set for that. You know what? I feel like we have to go back to the old real estate fundamentals. You got to talk to people when you're out and about. Wear name tags, have conversations with the people you know, make sure that the people you know are talking about you to people that they know. Going back to open houses. It's a little slow in open houses right now, but it's still a way to get out in front of people
Belly to belly.
and get and form that relationship with somebody as they come in. So just the kind of the old mentalities is kind of the way that I push everybody.
Got it.
Yeah.
I always talk about like you have to own your surroundings. So if your kid plays baseball, every single person that's at baseball better know you're a loan officer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you're in your neighborhood and you have your little niche of a neighborhood, you can make a living in your neighborhood. You literally can make a living in your neighborhood, depending on the size of your community. But so we're out there all the time doing events, for the communities, for the Halloween and pictures with Santa and all that kind of stuff. And it's a labor of love for sure. But every single person when they think of you, they should think mortgage, they should think real estate.
100%.
Period.
Yep.
That's it. Do you get to, take a break? No, no, you don't. This girl here, she works 24/7 all the time. When it's the weekend and I'm at the baseball game and Tina's at the baseball game and her client needs a new pre-approval, guess what? Who gets a call? This one,
She answers the phone
every
Thank
single
you.
time.
I tell people, and this is very true, most weekends, 99.9% of the time, I'm just sitting at home watching Netflix with my computer right there because I know inevitably something's going to come up. Someone's going to need a pre-qual, or even if I'm going somewhere, it's going with me because especially in this market too, everyone is trying to get the business. So, and people are, like Bryce said, are going to remember you for answering the phone. And it's, you have to be adaptable.
And there's two sides to it too, because I see both sides. Is that yes, we want the client to be excited about their purchase and get, the pre-qual quickly and whatnot. But on our end, it's even just as important that the realtor knows that we're going to be there for them and we're going to be there when they need it. And that just flows through. And that's where you make that team work, and if you're a realtor out in this market, you have to have somebody that's going to be there for you. And if your person's not treating you that way, come see us and we'll treat you that way.
So if you have a great quarterback, but the receiver can't catch, then you're not going to have a real productive business.
No.
So you've got to surround yourself with people that you love and trust
Absolutely.
and you can lean on.
Because it might be the weekend and you've got a buyer, you've just looked at some properties and they're so excited and want to make an offer, but we need some answers or some questions answered from the loan officer. So it's so beneficial to us that we can call on somebody like Sarah or Bryce from Starboard and they'll answer the phone and give us that answer we need so we can get that offer in and increase our chances to get the property.
Yeah, well said, Tony Lee.
Yeah. If you're getting into this business thinking it's a 9 to 5, then you're in the wrong industry. I tell my clients, I tell my partners, if you're working, I'm working.
Yeah.
I work more after hours than I do
easily.
regular hours.
Absolutely. During hours, I feel like that's kind of like my catch-up period because I know,
right?
Yeah, everything else is coming. You have to be adaptable. You can't be a one-trick pony. You have to be a jack of all trades. You have to adapt to current market conditions, and you're almost kind of like a psychologist, a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
You're a therapist for people too,
You're your
because
friend.
and that's how I feel. I mean, my clients, my business partners, they're family. So, and that's.
I can't tell you how many times I've been to the casino, and I'd never go to the casino, but my clients want to go to the casino. Hey, all right, we're gonna go pull some slots.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah,
It's all part of the relationship.
it is.
Just don't
Absolutely.
let them use their down payment or their credit card.
Oh man,
That's where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Don't tell the mortgage people you're taking to the casino. My God.
They're gonna win their down payment money.
I have used casino proceeds for qualifying.
Oh, yeah.
I have. I mean, he was. Oh my gosh,
I know
you know who I'm talking about. He probably spent $1 million, lost $1 million, and then gained like $2 million back. But it was all reported on tax returns, so I'm good.
I know. I got a friend of mine that won the lottery.
Really?
Yeah, and he gets the deduction of what the lottery tickets that you buy. Those are a tax deduction for him.
Really?
Oh, he buys thousands and thousands of those lottery tickets. Yeah.
Oh
I
man,
know two.
Wow.
that's unreal.
That's crazy.
For those-
Anything else you guys want to share about the importance of relationship before we move on? Or is there anybody else, any other team player, would you say is part of that relationship? besides just real estate and the mortgage side?
The benefits of Starboard is we've got Bryce. Bryce isn't a loan officer per se, but he's our go-to guy for whatever we need. And when you've got a loan officer that's taking a loan application that really may not be able to answer the phone, you could always call Bryce. So just have yourself involved with a good organization and a great escrow officer. We've got we formed an alliance with Security Title and just love them. Debbie Marquez, Mary Jane Writing. I mean, these people have solid reputations in the industry. Even people that aren't even in the real estate world know these gals because they do such a great job, and it gets out into the community about, hey, you close where and who knows what. Before you know it, Tony was talking about, you have other people. It's like a byproduct. You get like all this ancillary advertising just by being good to people.
Yeah.
Well, even just knowing different types of transactions. We do quite a bit of custom construction, land development, and Security Title does a fantastic job with that. We've had others that just aren't quite as familiar, and they just get it done. So that's
Big shout out to Jeremy Eaton too, right?
There you go.
My boy, Jeremy and Sue.
Yeah, Sue as well. Absolutely. Sue's more my favorite over Jeremy, I would think. So just putting that out there. Jeremy probably won't listen to this right now. So
Good people.
yeah, absolutely good people. All right, you guys ready to get in the ring?
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
Get ready.
All right, we got some rapid fire here. Rapid fire. This is good. All right. So we'll just go around the table. You can each answer, and we'll keep it nice and short. Podcasts or YouTube videos?
YouTube.
Bryce.
So I call it YouTube University, and I learn everything how to fix stuff on YouTube. So that's what I would say.
Yeah,
And
YouTube.
a lot of golf clips for my golf swing.
Well, I don't golf, but YouTube, because you've got somebody face to face that's helping explain everything to you.
Yeah, he's so modest. He's a scratch golfer. You see Tony out there.
Yeah, scratch
So-
your head.
So unanimous YouTube, I guess.
Yeah.
Did I hear? All right. How about pizza or cheeseburgers?
Pizza.
Ooh,
Pizza.
Definitely.
that's a tough one.
I know.
Can I say both?
I couldn't even answer. First time I've been tongue tied.
That's funny.
You
I
can't
can't answer that. I don't
us,
want to offend the pizza. I
ask us about food. That's too much.
Okay. How about electric or gas car?
Oh, I'm gas still, so I gotta go.
Gas.
Yeah.
I've never tried electric, so I'm sticking with the gas.
I'm open to
Yeah.
trying.
Me too.
I want to adopt the
I
electric.
know.
I really want to. I like all the new features, but I just.
But didn't they just say? Didn't California just pass something? They were gonna ban no more production of gas cars or whatever by a certain year. But then the very next week they said that you please don't plug in your cars because the grid.
Exactly. What are you supposed to
California
do?
Yeah.
That's why Arizona's so hot in the real estate market.
There you go.
California's just
Absolutely.
got a lot of political views.
How about one more? How about favorite vacation destination?
Beach. Anywhere beach.
That's anywhere with a beach for me.
Tony and I go to Machu Picchu every year.
I was like, wait, what?
I'm a Mexico guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Nice.
Tacos
I'm a
and the
fishing
beach, and we just can't beat it.
Yeah, I love Mexico. And Bryce, what is your favorite food to cook?
Oh, geez. Man, I make a lot of stuff every weekend. So that's kind of my thing. So every weekend, my wife takes care of like the weekday cooking, and I take care of the weekend cooking. So I do a lot of like Chateaubriand.
Oh my gosh.
I do a lot of smoked salmon. I love smash burgers. I have an outdoor teppanyaki grill, so I love doing smash burgers on those. So I watch a lot of Sam the Cooking Guy. Have you ever heard of Sam the Cooking Guy? Who's
No.
super awesome on YouTube, but I do a lot of his recipes and stuff. But I do a lot of just crazy stuff. So I'm doing fried chicken
That's cool.
this weekend.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
Houston's version. Oh,
You know, my birthday
So
was a couple
good.
days ago, and my son came over and he did broiled chicken with peanut butter sauce. Some sort of.
that's
and you
enticing.
think-
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like there's onions in the peanut butter. It was actually really good. I never would have thought, but chicken. I mean, I'd eat peanut butter with anything, but I never thought chicken.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I bet it was good too.
Well, it actually
Kind of
was.
like when you're a kid, dipping your, I'd still do it today, actually. Dipping your fries in Wendy's Frosty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
There
absolutely.
is a lot of Wendy's.
Oh yeah.
I don't believe that at all.
Tony and I eat a lot of Wendy's.
Every day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's my gig.
I go to our office, the fries are getting thrown in the drawer and stuff, so nobody sees there.
Fries for all.
That's funny.
I
The
can't.
paperwork you're working on is all greasy, right? From
Right, exactly.
Greasy
Little smush
fingers.
prints everywhere.
Well, thank you all for being in here. Thanks to the sponsors as well, Security Title Agency and Fidelity National Home Warranty, and for Jeremy again and Sue getting you in here. But we appreciate you all coming in. It's been a fun show. Thanks for sharing.
Good seeing
Awesome.
you, Joey.
Absolutely.
thanks for
It
having
was
us.
great.
Seeing you, Joey.
Absolutely. And hang in there. Who knows what the market's going to do, but it's just going to be a crazy ride for all of us, I think.
Just ride it out.
We'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
We'll take the call.
Absolutely. All right, agents, until next time, we will see you later. Adios.
Thank you.
All right, great job. Thank you all.